Hey guys! Long time no see. I feel like I haven't sat down and made a video in ages and I'm really sorry about that. I've had lots of people message me over the last month and a half being like, what are you doing? How did this go? You know, lots and lots of updates. But unfortunately I haven't really been in a position to kind of be like, this is what I'm doing. And so it's taken me a while to kind of get to a point where I feel like, yeah, I can tell them what I'm up to. So yeah, today I'm talking all about results day and what I'm currently doing. A little bit of background if you don't know about me. I finished year 13 last year. I had an offer to study medicine at Southampton. My offer was 3 A's in biology, maths and chemistry, and I ended up getting 3 B's. So I decided I'm gonna take a gap year and I'm gonna retake my exams this summer. And yeah, that's what I've been up to for the last year. In terms of how this year has been, I will probably do a whole video on kind of my highs and lows of a gap year, but generally speaking, I've really enjoyed it. If you follow me on Instagram @_Manisha P, you would have seen what I've been up to this year. Lots of people always ask me, they're like, oh, you're on a gap year, oh, what did you do? And I'm sort of like, because when you're on a gap year, which is mainly for retaking exams, you're kind of limited because you have to revise for a good chunk of that. So going abroad and volunteering for like 3 months isn't kind of a plan, but you can still have a really great gap year. And I got to do lots of great things. You know, I got to bake and cook lots, which is really important to me. I got to see loads of cool shows. I ended up doing a course with the National Youth Theatre. You know, I just met lots of wonderful people and generally had a pretty good year. In terms of exams and how exams went, so I was retaking A2 maths, MEI, and AQA biology and chemistry. So I had about 9 exams this year, which is quite a lot. You know, it's not very far off what I had last year, which was like 12. And generally, in terms of how I felt going into exams, I would say a lot better to how I was last year. This year, I basically just taught myself. From January, I started revising, and I think I saw a tutor like once a week for each subject, and the rest of it was very much just me and my laptop and a couple of books and just doing it again and again. And I had some wonderful friends. Shout out to Vic and Aman and also Zaid for amazing resources, who were also resitting. And we had, you know, we were really lucky that I had a group of people in that same position because it does get quite tricky. And yeah, so the last year I've been working a lot harder than I think I did in year 13 and in year 12. And so when I was doing my exams, I felt a lot more prepared. For example, C3, a paper which I detested last year, I felt so much more comfortable this year. And you know, at the same time, like chemistry paper 3, I remember sitting down in my exam hall feeling exactly how I felt last year, and I was really unsettled by that. But you know, once exams were finished, I was like, okay, that's done with. I feel like I've done better than last year, but I'm not certain or confident in that. And in terms of my offer this year, I only had 1 offer this year. Last year I had 3 interviews, 3 offers, and I was in a very relaxed position. This year was a different story. I was under a lot of pressure, I think, because in my head I'm going, this is your 2nd time applying, you need to get that offer. And I only had 1 interview this year, and I was very lucky to get it, and I managed to get an offer from that, and that was for King's Medicine, and the offer was A-star AA, which I always knew would be difficult to achieve, and I was like, I have no other choice, it's my only offer, that's what I need to get for. And yeah, and so then results day came along, which was, I mean, it's over a month ago, it feels ages ago. And I was actually on my course with the National Youth Theatre then, and that was a 6-day course. So I was just busy in this kind of whole NYT bubble, you know, just doing drama every day with people who, you know, have no idea about medicine, you know, they're just doing their thing, and it was really nice to kind of be away from it all. But obviously results day was inevitably on its way, and I had to, in the back of my mind, I was thinking about it, and I think I've spoken to lots of people who have been on a gap year. It's almost scarier this time around than it was last year, because although yes, I worked harder and all of this, you know just how bad it can get. You know just how awful you can feel on results day, and so that fear is constantly on your mind because you're like, I really don't want that to happen because I know how bad it feels. And so in a way the fear was even like worse. And then results day came about, and there I am on the morning of results day. I kept refreshing my UCAS again and again. And just to go back again, my offer was at King's for A-star AA, and my backup was biomed at Newcastle, which was like AAB, I think. And I kept refreshing, and it's like, congratulations, you got into Newcastle. And you can imagine how I felt. I mean, I'm staring at that page and it's like somebody just switches you to zero. It's a really awful feeling of you're just like, what do I do now? What do I do? I don't know what to do with my life anymore. And it was the exact same feeling I felt last year, that feeling of it's almost being numb, because I'm not angry, I'm not upset, I'm not disappointed, I just don't know what to do. And I go to my sister's room and I just go, no, it didn't happen. And I got in the car with my mum, my sister, and I'm driving to school and I'm crying my eyes out, and I'm thinking, what was the point of this last year? What was the point of me taking a whole year of my life out? A year which hasn't been particularly fun throughout, a year which I worked really hard for, and I'm in the same position I was in last year. That's a really soul-crushing moment, and it's really tough. And I get to school and I'm just feeling dejected and just so disheartened. And I see some friends who had also reset, and some of them hadn't refreshed their UCAS, some of them had, and we're going in to get our results, and I get my results and I'm kind of thinking, I don't really care what I get, to be honest, because right now I feel like crap. Nothing could possibly make me feel better. And I open up my results and I end up getting 3 A's, which some people are going to go, well, okay, cool, I got that first time, or I got A-star AA first time. And I'm saying, well done, because that's sick. For me, part of me was incredibly proud. Seriously, I was like, you got 3 A's, Manisha? Are you sure? I've always said how my GCSE results day wasn't particularly happy. Last year's wasn't happy at all. And so I was like, I got grades that I'm happy with? What is this world? This doesn't happen to me. And, I've always said I don't think of myself as particularly academic, despite going to a grammar school, despite, applying for med. I still think of myself as I don't think of myself as book smart. And I feel like if you ask my friends and family, a lot of them will be like, oh yeah, Manisha's just performing arts and YouTube and cooking. It's never, oh, Manisha's really smart. And so for me, 3 A's was a huge achievement of you can do that, and you did it. And so part of me is just so happy, but then part of me is also oh, Kings, I hate you so much, seriously, And so it was a really strange day, because I want to celebrate that and I want to be happy, but I do also feel at the same time, I'm they're just still not good enough. My grades last year weren't good enough, and it's a weird feeling of these grades, 3 A's, for most unis would be fine, and I had friends who are resitting and got 3 A's, and they're off doing med now, and I'm there I just got really unlucky. And it was a really strange day, because I parts of me was just sat here crying, and then part of me was happy. And I did a whole update on Instagram, and I had lots of lovely messages, so thank you if you sent me a lovely message. I did end up going out. I just went out for a dinner by myself, just to kind of reflect on the last year. But the next few weeks were pretty tough, and I was a little bit distraught because I didn't know what I was doing. And my sister and I, we ended up getting my biology remarked, because my bio was off by 6 marks from an A-star, and then I got it remarked and it was off by 3 marks, which was really frustrating. My maths, my overall UMS was about 88, and for an A-star you need to average 90 UMS, so small margins. But what I was incredibly proud with is I spoke about how C3, I hated it last year. I averaged I got 53 in that unit. This year I ended up getting 90, which is a huge, I never thought I could get anything like that in C3 ever, because I utterly despised it. And so for me, that made me really happy. Chemistry was a solid A and was probably the subject I was most scared about, because I was like, I have no idea if I'm even going to go up. Maybe I'm going to go down a grade. I don't know. To be like, finally I got an A, that means so much. And you know, we emailed King's, we called King's, we updated them, we ended up emailing and posting a letter to every single medical school in the country, which is painful because you're sort of there like getting all these rejections, being like, we don't take resits, we're all filled for 2018, please apply next year. And you're there like, like, it's really strange, because I get some people saying, well done, those are amazing grades, but I'm like, they're just not good enough though. And I ended up getting an offer for St. George's for biomed. The idea being I go for 3 years, complete the course, and then try and transfer for medicine 3rd year. And I ended up accepting that because I was like, you know what, that seems straightforward. And in all honesty, I just wanted to get to university. I was like, I think for the thing about a gap year is, personally, I felt quite stagnant. I was like, I'm not progressing, I'm not moving forward. And I was like, my friends are off at uni and getting on with their lives. I'm still at home. I'm still not really, like, although I've done cool stuff and met cool people, I feel like I'm in the same place. And I didn't like that. And so I was like, just take me to uni now. So we accepted it. And then I ended up going to Amsterdam with my friends for a trip that we booked ages ago. And it was only a couple of days, but even, you know, they all asked me, they're like, oh, so what are you doing now? What's the plan? And I wasn't like able to be confident and say, oh, I'm going, you know, got St. George's. I kind of sat there going, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. And it became pretty apparent that going to St. George's wasn't something I wanted to do, because if it was, I would have been confident and said it. But I was sat there being like, I don't know. So I came back and I had a really kind of long conversation with my mum, my sister and myself, where I realised I was like, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do it. And I think the main thing for me was, last year with my 3 Bs, I could have done biomed, biochemistry, you know, I had an offer to do bio at York, but I said, no, I'm going to retake it. And I ended up getting 3 As. And I was like, well, me going to do biomed or biochem, in my eyes, felt like that last year was for a waste. Like, why did I need to retake those exams and put in that effort when I'm just doing what I could have done before? And so I've decided to take another gap year, which I'm always terrified, because I won't lie, a part of me when I was thinking about what to do was like, what are people in the student room going to think? What are friends going to think? What are people on Instagram going to think? Because I was like, if I say I'm going to do biomed, are people going to say I've given up? Are people going to be like, oh, she didn't get in, oh, how sad? Or is it going to be, she's on a gap year, why is she trying again? Like, I tweeted on results day saying, I got 3 As, you know, I haven't got uni sorted, but I'm happy. And someone replied to that tweet saying, so you got rejected twice by medicine? What are you doing now? And I was like, ouch. And so I was hyper aware of the fact that people are going to say anything, you know, they're going to say anything regardless of what I do, right? And I kind of had to, and my friends were just like, look, you need to stop thinking about what others are doing. And I know this year is going to be weird. I don't know many people who are on a gap year twice, so I don't have that kind of close-knit group, but I still have amazing friends who I can reach out to. I still have a brilliant family, and I still have a year to try again with my grades, and hopefully it works out. I'm applying to Hull, York, Exeter, Brighton and Bristol. I did my UK CAT the other day. I ended up getting 685 band 1. A little bit disappointed, because as you guys know, in the past I've done a fair bit better, but I still think it's a solid score, fingers crossed. And that's the plan. And I suppose the life lesson out of it all is just that, try not to compare yourself to what others are doing. Just kind of be like, take things at your own pace and do what you feel is right, as opposed to being like, oh, but they're doing this and they're off doing this amazing thing. Just focus on yourself. But yeah, I wanted to say that for ages, but I was like, I don't know if I'm in the right stage. Can I say anything? I don't know. But there we go. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm up to. I hope you're okay with that. If you want to continue like seeing what I do, feel free to check out my Instagram at _Manisha P. I will be filming a video all about how to revise, or how I revised during my resit, so that will be coming out, don't you worry. Give a like and a subscribe and all that cool stuff to the student room. Check out my channel, Manisha P. And that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye!